he said it's going to take a month to retrieve your eggs. And my oncologist said, I don't care about that. We're here to save your life. We're not here to get you pregnant. So let's focus on that and focus on babies later.
Before we begin, we want to let you know that this episode contains topics that may be confronting for some listeners, including discussions about birth trauma, postpartum psychosis, and other difficult experiences. Please take care of yourself while listening. Pause or step away if you need to. This episode is part of a 3-part series. We recommend listening to the episodes in order, as each one builds on the conversations and insights from the previous. If you or someone you know is currently struggling, we've included a list of support services and helplines in the show notes.
Hello everyone and welcome back to No Place Like Home. I'm Kath, your host for today, and today I'm very lucky to be joined by Cassie.
Hello.
Thank you for coming to join me.
Oh, thank you for inviting me to be here.
I have had the heads up from producer Rach that we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff today.
Yeah.
I don't know very much about you at all. We've just met today, so I'm looking forward to walking through this with you. We're just going to find a bit about you to start with. So normally when we kick off, we just talk about a bit about your background, your family, who you are in the world.
Okay.
So take it away.
Okay. So I am a 37, mother of 2. I've returned back to work this week from a year of maternity leave. I have a wonderful husband named Josh. My life is very much my big fat Greek wedding. That's how I go about my day-to-day life.
Yep.
Family is a big part of my life, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We've had a big 5 years. A lot of stuff has transpired over the past 5 years, and I guess that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. People are at the edge of their seats.
Are they?
I just can imagine. When you say,
What's she gonna
it's
say?
just been a big 5 years. Okay, well, can we reel it back to the start of the big 5 years? What was the first kind of turning point for you that kicked off the adventure?
So we were planning my big fat Greek wedding. We really were.
Yep.
And I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I think it was 2020. I was in a lot of pain, ended up in hospital, and they found this 11 centimetre tumour that was crushing my heart and my lungs. So I had all this referred pain and ended up there, and they found it. So treatment started straight away, had chemotherapy and radiation, but because of how large my tumour was, we couldn't do any egg retrieval. So they sent me to, I don't know, an obstetrician in Melbourne, and he said it's going to take a month to retrieve your eggs. And my oncologist said, I don't care about that. We're here to save your life. We're not here to get you pregnant. So let's focus on that and focus on babies later. So they, during my treatment, they would put me into a medicated menopause, and that meant that there was, I think it was like a 50% chance that I would fall pregnant naturally, but it like adds an extra 10 years. So my eggs were like a 40-year-old, not a 30-year-old.
So you talk about medical induced menopause. Was that done so that you like it sort of shuts your body down into like protecting what's there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. So the one thing that my oncologist said was that once I was in remission, you have to wait a year, get your periods to start again, make sure you had a regular cycle, and then we could start trying for a baby. Yeah.
Okay. In that period of time, was your focus there at all, or were you just like, okay, everyone's focused on my survival treatment?
I didn't even think of babies. Like I just wanted to be okay, and it wasn't a thought in my mind until they gave me the thumbs up, because I was very much just listen to the doctors, listen to your team, and it was But once they did give us a thumbs up, I was like, okay, let's get pregnant, let's have a baby.
So I guess a lot happened though before that. So you're sitting in this realm of treatment, everything's paused. Like you said, you were planning this wedding. which assumably was on pause as well, or did you go ahead with that?
No, so the big wedding
Yep.
got cancelled, but
Okay.
after the first round of chemotherapy, my hair was like popping out of my head as it does. And my grandfather was very unwell, and he was like, I'm not going to make the real wedding because by the time you're well, I'll probably be dead. Greeks are very, emotional, doom and gloom. So my family went and planned a wedding in 9 days in my parents' backyard, a much smaller group of people. I was on, I think, 70 tablets a day. There were spraying the hairdressers and pinning them back to my head as I was walking down the aisle, like it was a bit of a mess. But we got married. It was beautiful for what was going on. And that night, all my hair just came off my head. So it was perfect timing. Yeah.
I mean, you're obviously saying it deadpan, but I can only imagine, looking at your hair now as well. It's like obviously thick and full and luscious.
Yeah, it came back. Yeah.
From a female's perspective, and that link that we often have to our own hair and femininity and whatnot, what that must have felt like. And
there was so much emphasis on my hair because I've also always had long hair, thick hair. But by the time when it was gone, that final shave of all the little bits happened, I was like, oh, like I can breathe now. Like it's done. Now I can focus on treatment. It was just, I was
the holding
very
on
okay
to
with
it was the anticipation.
It was. And I feel like touch wood, I'll never have to go through that again.
Yeah.
But if I was, I would just be like, shave it off. Like, let's just get this show on the road and get started.
So you have this beautiful wedding with a much smaller scale, but assumably it sounds like it was really intimate and beautiful and like a nice mark in time then to move forward from.
Yes.
So you're going through treatment. Did you have any marks along the way that you were thinking, okay, we're on the right track? Things are obviously people are seeing you now you look very well. We won't skip ahead that far. But what was that like for you?
I would probably put going through cancer and treatment as one of the hardest, but also the most beautiful time of my life. My girlfriends, my family, my husband's family, we banded together in this incredible way. I can't explain the love I was surrounded by during that time. And they basically carried my crying body through those 6 months. And they cried with me and they laughed with me and were there when I shaved my head and were there when I was constipated from too much chemotherapy. They were really there through every single part of it.
And it sounds like you let them be. It wasn't
I needed them.
You be there, I'll be here.
No. I really needed them. And I didn't necessarily think I wasn't going to be okay, but I didn't know I was going to be okay either. So when we were told it worked and you're in remission, I was like, okay, this is good.
Was there anything in the back of your mind that was, oh, but how can you know that? And, this all just happened and now you're saying I'm okay. That uncertainty that.
Yeah, I think I just really trusted my team.
Okay.
I had this badass, obstetrician, oncologist.
Yeah.
I always get the two confused.
Yeah.
And she was really she was a real woman. So she's like, I'm not here to wrap anything up for you in in a pink pretty bow. She goes, I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm going to tell you what you need to do and we're going to make sure you're okay. And I was like, okay, I trust you. And I never doubted her. So yeah.
And what period of time are we talking?
So I think it was
from
around
start of planning. Okay, you've now got this diagnosis to end of treatment. You're in remission.
Maybe 10 months.
Wow.
Yep. So around 6 months of chemotherapy and then 17 rounds of radiation. Wow. Fun.
So I mean, wow. I think most people that are sitting at home or walk in the parks listening to us, they can't even imagine what that feels like. And lots of us have walked through a similar path with family members or friends, but to actually go through that yourself is,
It's so, I think sitting here today, and once we talk about what happened afterwards, I'm very okay with it.
Yeah.
Like I think that, like, there's that quote, you only become fearless when you have understood the nature of fear, like when you've felt fear. And nothing is scarier than being told that you've got cancer. But then life progresses and other things happen and you're like, oh no, wait, like I don't get this golden ticket of nothing else bad is going to happen because I've gone through cancer. Like other things transpire and you're like, okay, I have to now deal with this. So,
but
you
also
know?
you battled the beast.
Yeah,
and you conquered.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. You go through what you grow through what you go through. Isn't that the saying? So
yeah. So treatment's finished.
Treatment's finished.
You've, walked the path that you did in that period of time.
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like on the other side, or what did it look like?
Just really like I was skipping through life after treatment.
Yeah.
My husband and I, on my the following birthday, like still no hair, anything. We went to Lakes, which was our happy place, and it was 6 o'clock in the morning and we dived in the ocean in June and we're like, we're alive. Like it was very much that feeling for months and months. So I was just, really happy. Yeah.
I imagine from his perspective as well, obviously watching you face your own mortality and he's walking so closely next to you, you do question your own. Have you spoken about what that looked like for both of you?
I feel very lucky to have someone like Josh, like in the husband department. You think you've picked well, like when you first meet someone, and then you go through something where someone really has to like be dedicated to loving you, and he just showed up. Like, and there was a moment when I was first diagnosed that it was actually the night they said, they thought I had lung cancer, first of all. They didn't know what it was. Wow. My dad was sitting to the right of me and my husband was sitting to the left of me, and I was high on so many pain drugs and whatever else they had me on. And my eyes were closed, but I was awake. And these are two of the most important men in my life. And they were both sobbing, like not communicating with one another, just both of them had their heads down and they were sobbing. And it was in that moment that I realized this isn't just going to impact me. Yeah. Like I don't get to say, oh, this is all about me. It's about everyone. So, so I definitely did things to Josh, but he carries himself in such a way that it was all just about, I'm here, I love you, we'll get through this together. I tried to be there for him too, and yeah.
It's powerful. So. But going through your own stuff is one thing, but having to make sure that, that looks okay for everybody else too. And certainly, again, if I'm looking at my own experiences with people I've walked certain journeys with in life, I feel like lots of people that I know, Larissa, who's one of them, who's often on our podcast with us, and her own experience, that holding people together, like even though you're the one walking that journey, like you kind of have to hold yourself in a certain way so that other people around you are like, okay, we're still doing this.
Yeah.
And again, I can't speak for what that looks and feels like, but from just the similarities that you're talking about, that makes sense from that perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
So you're on this end part, you're living life to your fullest, you're married. What happens next?
So I think we tried maybe for a baby once we got the all green light to go ahead. I think we tried for a baby for a few months, and I just said to Josh, look, I just want help. Like I want to find the best help, want to find a good OB, and we probably will need IVF. So let's find someone. So we found the bougiest charismatic like OB that I think we could have possibly found. Yeah. Like he basically smelt rich. Like, you know, like it was just, I used to call him Matthew McConaughey because he just had so much swagger and all of this. And
you were clearly for it. You were.
I was just like, look, this is what I'm looking for. I think I just kind of wanted someone like my oncologist, but he wasn't the same. Like he was very fluffy, very fluffy. But anyway, I said to him, I've had cancer. They put me into menopause. I'm out of menopause. Don't know if I can have a baby. You apparently know all about IVF, so like help us. And he said, I'm going to give you 4 months of trying naturally. He goes, I would have given anyone else 12 months, but someone with a medical history, we give 4. If you're not pregnant, we're doing IVF. And I think the 4th month we got pregnant naturally.
Wow.
So I called him and we should have thought about it years ago, but we didn't have obstetrics cover and he was private.
Yeah.
And he said, you don't have to stay with me. Like you can go anywhere now and have this baby. But I thought that by paying him, we were getting like a specialized care. Like you're really going to hold us through this whole process.
Yeah.
So we, stayed with him until birth.
What was your pregnancy like?
From what I can remember, it was okay. Like I was a bit nauseous. I was a bit like uncomfortable. But I was just pregnant. Like I was like, oh, this is fine.
Yeah.
I'm getting fat. I can eat lots of McDonald's. Like it's great. Like a
high quality diet.
Yeah.
So just in general, knowing that you were able to be pregnant, you were like, okay, well, this is what we weren't sure we'd be able to do.
Correct.
We're here. So you've got this, like you said, bougie obstetrician. You're walking through your pregnancy. Sounds like it's okay. Birth. What was that like for you?
Zani was measuring on the 27th percentile, I think, at 36 weeks. So he said, I don't want you to go over 40, so we'll induce you if you're close to 40, and she hasn't come yet. I didn't know she was a she then, but she hadn't come yet. And I was like, okay, no worries. We got to 39 weeks. He's like, okay, we're going to have to induce you. So I was like, okay. I go, do I need to know any, like, we didn't talk about birth plans. We didn't talk about what an induction was. We didn't talk about what happens the day of the birth. I was just like, I'm paying you $20,000 and you're going to take care of me. That's how naive I was. Anyway, so we go to the hospital. I'm induced with the tape the night before. That wasn't a great experience. But the next day.
So this is 40 weeks?
This is 40 weeks.
Yeah.
The next day, I didn't see my OB at all, had no contact with him. They gave me an epidural, which I didn't know at the time, but I actually have mild scoliosis. So by the time my contraction started, all of that pain relief was just going to the left side of my body and not the right. And at the time I was like, you know what, I'm kind of okay with the pain, but no one gave me the option. Like I told them what was happening. They were like, we need to get the anesthesiast back in here. He gave me a full spinal block. I couldn't feel anything. And then the midwives were like, okay, it's time to start pushing. I'm like I could not feel a thing. The room that I was in was, every window was open. It was 3:00 in the afternoon. They had lights there. My legs were up. It felt very hospital, uncomfortable. I felt very ugly and just my vagina was out there for the world to see, for all these people coming in and out. And then some negative talk started amongst the midwives, and they're like, oh, your OB's blah. Eye roll. He has a reputation of cutting out babies, so you need to push really hard because he's going to walk in this room and cut out this baby. And I was like, no, wait a minute. He's my person. Like, we've been through this journey together. There's no way that's going to happen. Like,
yeah.
And I'm looking at Josh, and Josh is like, this is very bad. Like, that people are talking to you like this. Anyway, he walks in. He goes, push. I have 5 nurses around me, the manager, midwife, and I didn't push as hard as what I was pushing because I had anxiety. Like, I was so nervous. And
they'd wrecked your juju. It was like not conducive to you being.
No, not at all. And I was just like, oh my God. And I pushed what I thought I was pushing, but I didn't try as hard as what I was before. And he was like, okay. He kind of smirked, pulls out these gigantic scissor things and just cuts me without telling me he's going to do it. Went and got the forceps, pulled out Zani's head and then said, all right, birth your baby, pull her out. And I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean pull her out? He's like, pull her out. Like, her arms were there. She was crying, just dangling out of me. And I was looking at Josh, and Josh is looking at me. We hadn't spoken about this. I didn't even know that people could pull their own babies out of their vagina. So
it was like a party trick he was like trying to get you involved in but hadn't subbed you in.
No. And anyway, I couldn't lift my body up. So Josh has had to lift the top half of my body up. I pull her out, put her on my chest. He's like stitching me up. And I was like, oh, I've had a baby. Like, it was it just wasn't nice. Like, we're very grateful. They told us she was a girl and we had a kiss, and I was just like, all right.
You did the things you thought you should, maybe.
Yeah, that was done. But in the days that followed that, at this hospital, it was like everyone was having COVID babies and they were overstaffed and we didn't get taken care of at all. There was just no care. We're just left in this beautiful room, and Zani wasn't given any of her needles or checkups until a few hours before we left the hospital on the 3rd day. No one checked in on us.
No question. Like, were you guys shell-shocked? It sounds like potentially.
I was crying every day there because I was blaming myself so badly. I was like, I should have pushed harder. Like, Josh, I should have pushed harder. Maybe if I pushed, I didn't know I was only going to have one push, I would have, like, it's my fault that this happened the way it did. And I just started, like, there was just lots of self-loathing. I didn't know how to breastfeed. She wasn't latching.
Yeah.
But I didn't look for help. I didn't educate myself before Zani because I had thought we're paying for this special service, which in the hindsight was my fault. Like, I really should have educated myself more than what I had.
I mean, your previous experience which was quite an intense one where you were cared for so intensely through your cancer treatment.
Yeah.
With this badass doctor who empowered you. I assume, and I feel like this is rightly so, you were thinking, I'm going to go and match this with my, this other empowering experience that I'm going to have through my start of motherhood.
Yeah, 100%.
And it was the total opposite.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I got home, it was we were just aching to get home, and we pulled into my driveway and my mum had purchased 200 pink helium balloons that were all on the fence, like as we drove in, and our families were waiting, and it was beautiful. But I was still devastated. Like, I was like, here's my baby, here's our baby. But I was, a bit crushed with what had happened. Yeah.
So you did, there was no plan for birth. You just entrusted this doctor. What did postpartum planning for you look like, if any at all?
So I started to see a lactation consultant to help me through Zani's issues with latching. But I didn't realise at the time that maybe I had other issues as well that were left over from chemotherapy and radiation. So I had mastitis 9 times in the first 12 weeks of giving birth. So it was just constant antibiotics, in and out of emergency, la.
And you're back in the hospital again.
Back in the hospital. And one thing that one of the doctors in emergency said to me was, you don't come to emergency for mastitis. Like, you need to deal with this at home. And so again, it was like, oh, what have I done wrong? I've done something wrong. Yeah. So breastfeeding stopped not long after that. And it was probably the best thing for me at the time. So I could just focus on, learning how to be a mum. And that was it.
Did you think about the after, so the postpartum, whilst you were pregnant at all?
I thought I was going to be in this beautiful robe. I had my cart next to my bed with like snacks and nappies and all of this stuff. And I was like, I'm just going to be watching TV shows and my baby's going to be breastfeeding and I'm going to be eating. Like, I was delusional.
The glamour of it.
Yeah. And then I think it was a week after I just started crying and I was like, Josh, like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm crying. I feel very sad. I started to lose like sensation when I would touch my hair or put moisturizer on my skin. My skin didn't feel like my skin. And I was like, I think something's wrong.
So a bit of dissociation.
Yeah. Very mild dissociation, but more sadness. Like, I was just so sad.
And this is only a week.
A week
after you've been home, or a week after you've had?
Probably a week after I've been home, I think.
Yeah.
And it started to progressively get worse to the point where I didn't want to see anyone. I didn't want to speak to my friends and so on. And that's when Josh was like, okay, I think we need to get you in to see a doctor. But at that point, the sadness has kind of overtaken my body and I agreed to seeing a doctor, but I couldn't actually walk through the front door. So he had to arrange with the doctor's clinic to let me in the back and hide me in a room because I just couldn't be around people.
The overwhelm of people around you, or just do you think some of that was a dissociation from yourself, or what did that feel like?
I still was replaying my birth. At that point, like, it was just a constant thought, I should have tried harder. I should have done more. It's my fault this happened. Like, I should have educated myself. There was a lot of that going over and over again in my head. And then I just kind of felt like I couldn't get out of that thought process. So we went and saw this doctor, which I've known for a long time. Yeah. And he's like, you've got postnatal depression. I was like, oh, okay, great. Let's add that into the mix. He's like, here's an antidepressant. We've got a mums and bubs unit in Gippsland. Do you want to go? And I was like, no, because I still had a lot of my stubbornness in me. Like, I was sad, but I was still me. And I was like, no, I don't want to go. Like, I can manage this. And yeah, I think I thought I was okay on these antidepressants a lot quicker than I was actually okay. So I was on them for about 6 months. You're meant to be on them for a year. I was on them for 6 months and I weaned off them very quickly.
Did you do that yourself or under guidance? Oh, okay.
No, I just did it myself. So I was getting like brain zaps and walking around the cloud, and I definitely had anxiety, but I kept thinking, oh, you've got this. Like, you can get through this.
And were you talking to people through this, or you were just making what you thought were really clear decisions?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't talk to anyone.
Wow.
Yeah. But I got through it.
Yeah.
I got through it.
Obviously you got
through that part anyway.
Okay. So you're at 6 months postpartum, 6 months on these medication that you've decided to wean yourself off of.
Yep.
And like, you just like, what does that look like for you at that point?
So I was still on maternity leave. At home with my daughter. We were living in Gippsland then, so I had a lot of support. So I had my parents, Josh's parents, grandparents. Like, I'd welcomed my friends back into my life and said, oh, I was feeling a bit but I think I'm okay now. But my brain had already started thinking, I need to get ready for a second baby. Like, the only way I can explain the past 5 years is it's always been like, what's the next thing? Okay, I have cancer. Okay, we've got to get through chemotherapy. We've got to get through radiation. Okay, we've got to fall pregnant. We've got to have a baby. We've had that baby. We have a lot less eggs. We need to get pregnant again.
Quick.
So that was my next focus.
Do you think that's what got you out of this initial darkness? You had a new drive.
But my drive this time round was, I'm going to do this so differently. So I'm not going to get postnatal again because I'm going to educate myself. That was the thought process behind it. But also, can I get pregnant again, or was that just a fluke? Yeah.
We've obviously learnt so much about you already. We're going to do a second episode on this, but thank you for coming to talk to us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
This podcast represents the opinions of our hosts and their guest speakers. Views and opinions expressed in the podcast are our own and do not represent that of our places of work. This podcast is for informational purposes only, and content here should not be taken as medical or professional advice. Please consult your healthcare professional for any personal recommendations and medical care. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we are sharing is accurate, based on the best available information at the time of recording, we will welcome any comments, suggestions or feedback via our website, contact form, home.com.au/contact. Names and details of personal experiences may have been changed to allow anonymity and privacy. To join the conversation, join us on social media at Home Postpartum.